Hey everyone, this is Trevor with FX Editing, and this is our third and final installment of the basic intro series to After Effects. Our first part covered the project window, our second part covered the timeline, and this third tutorial will cover the composition window. This actually should go by pretty quick because there's not a lot. This is just kind of where you preview everything. So let's get started. You'll see this is where everything plays out in your sequence, where you see it visually. So I just before this tutorial quickly animated this little circle just to show you. So as you scrub through your timeline, you'll see it live. If your caps lock is on, it won't refresh as you're doing it because caps lock makes it so that it's not wasting memory as you're trying to redraw frames. And if this wasn't all rendered, when I landed on something, it wouldn't show anything. This right here is the percentage of the view. So right now it's at 50%. If we did 100%, it'd be much bigger. You can also just do Command minus and plus to zoom it into those percentages. And then if you want it to fit the window, you hit Shift // / is the one right next to Shift. And that way, when you expand the composition window, the video itself will expand with it. So that's Shift / and then Command minus and plus will just zoom in percentages. Down here we have grids. So you have proportional grid. You have title action safe. The shortcut for title action safe is actually apostrophe, which you'll use a lot. So you might want to memorize apostrophe as the title action safe. I use that a lot, especially if you're editing television. You're gonna have to a lot of shows still stick within 4.3, and After Effects now has the 4.3 bars within title safe, so you just kind of want to check all that. This right here is your mask enabler. We'll get into masks in another tutorial, but just to give you a good idea, if I make this mask green. So this right here is the mask. This green line is a circular mask I made around the layer. If I have the toggle mask and shape path visibility enabled, which is blue, then it'll show it. If I disable it, it won't. And that's just when you kind of want a clean look at your layer, and you don't want to have to be bombarded with all these different colors, because masks can get epic and you can have masks everywhere. So that's just to help you clean it up when you're kind of previewing. This is your time code window down here. It live updates as you scrub. You can also, just like in the timeline, you can type in a time code for where you want to go, and it'll move there. Don't worry about these for now. This little tab here where it says full, this is your resolution. You can set it to auto, and it'll auto set it based on your memory, or you can set them low. I like to, if I'm doing a heavy, extensive project, I set to quarter and animate everything, and then I'll set it to full to preview and make sure it all looks good. That way After Effects works a lot faster if you have it in quarter. And then toggle transparency grid if you have nothing behind it. So right now all I have is this one layer and it's a circle. So if I toggle transparency, if I wanted to output this with an alpha channel, this is everything that would come through underneath this. So if I put this over top of footage, you would only see the circle. And that's if you output with an alpha channel, which we'll get into that later, but this toggles that on and off. And then the only other thing over here that I kind of want you guys to know about is this little button, this fast previews. A lot of times I think After Effects starts with adaptive resolution. Personally, I don't like adaptive resolution. It changes the resolution as you scrub based on your memory. And I like to work in quarter resolution when I'm working on something epic, and I don't like the computer kind of switching it up on me. I feel like it doesn't work as fast as it should. I feel like it slows down After Effects, so I would just kind of set that to off, final quality, to get smooth workflow, and we'll get rolling with that. That's about it. That's your composition window. Another thing to be mindful of is other windows can open up here. I've seen people get confused before in my classes where they accidentally double click a layer and then they don't know why they don't see their composition animating out, and it's because they're up here in their actual layer. It'll say layer deep orange, so just make sure you're in your composition. So here, this is where you can like edit your layer and you can paint on it and everything, which we'll get into possibly in a later tutorial. But if you're here and you're freaking out wondering where your thing is, It's just make sure you're in your composition window. And that's about it. And then one quick little tip that I learned way too late in the game, like 8 years into using After Effects, the tilde key, which is the key right, the squiggly little line right next to your 1 on the far left of your keyboard, will maximize any panel that your mouse is hovering over. So right now I'm hovering over the composition window, tilde makes the whole screen composition. Tilde brings it back, whole project, whole timeline, whole effects bin. It's whatever you're hovering over. It's super useful, especially if your timeline is like hundreds of layers deep. It's really great. Use it all the time. That's about it. Now let's get into some fun tutorials.